Hey there, it's John from Imagine Crafts, and I'm here to show you how to make this great antiqued vintage photo block from an old photograph placed onto a canvas. So a few supplies you're going to need before you get started. Supplies besides the great Imagine Crafts and Sukaneko products, that is. You need to start with a vintage photograph. And I guess I really shouldn't say vintage because this is a picture of my mother when she was little, and she would probably kill me if she knew I was referring to her as vintage. So you get the idea though. You want to make sure it's a copy and you don't want to use the original. And then there's a few different size canvases that you can use. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do it on a 4-inch square. We're going to start with Creative Medium in the Vintage finish, which has a nice sepia color tone already added in there for you. Using an ink blusher, I'm going to pick up a generous amount of Creative Medium and begin spreading it directly onto the canvas. I'm going to cover the entire surface. Then I'm just going to lay down my picture, and I'm going to use one of our multi-purpose squeegees, and I'm just going to squeegee this down to make sure I've got it flat. I'm now going to pick up some more, and I'm going to put my first coat directly on here. And as you can see, this is going to age my paper. Now if you look really closely here, you can see how it's kind of warping a little bit here and a little bubbly wobbly. That is going to go completely down once this is dried, so we're just going to be patient and let this dry. And I'm going to use our StazOn solvent ink, and the first color I'm going to use is Saddle Brown. And I'm just going to pick some of this up with one of our ink blushers, and I'm going to start on the sides, and this is going to be my base color on here. Now I'm going to pick up a little more color, and I'm just going to start edging right along my photograph onto the front side. This is going to give it that kind of antiqued picture look. God, now my mom's really going to kill me. First she's vintage, now she's antique. Now I'm going to add my second color, which is going to be our Timber Brown. And again, I'm just going to pick up an ink blusher and start just adding some of that color on there. You could just lightly just kind of go along the edge like that. So to do the front part, I am going to pick up an ink blusher though, just because I don't want to cover it completely. I still want some of that Saddle Brown to show through. Now if you have any little kind of blank spots, like for example right down here, I'm going to pick up some of the color with a brush stick, and I'm just going to work right down in there to cover that up. I'm going to pick up some jet black, and what the jet black is going to do, I'm just going to use this sparingly, but it's going to pull in the black and white photograph part of this, so the darker areas, with the color I just add, so it really does kind of have that aged photograph look. Again, we're just kind of highlighting my mom, which she should always be, or at least that's what she's told my dad for years and years. So there's that for you. And now, because this is the holidays, I've picked a couple of great colors. I've picked our Black Cherry. And again, with my ink blusher, pick some of this up. And I'm going to put some right here, and I'm just going to highlight. Now, one thing to notice is you can see how kind of red that is. If you pick up some of the color and then dab it off, it's not going to be quite as intense. You can get more kind of a subtle coloring in there. And I'm also going to add just a little bit of red, kind of here and there, around my edges, just to kind of pull it all together. We have our Cactus Green. Because I've got the sepia finish on there, it's not quite as bright and intense, so you can really kind of use that just for real subtle highlighting. This project went very quick and easy, and you can always use a more current image if you like, and for making your own canvases. These are great also for vacation photographs, and you can even rubber stamp on here too if you want to put some words on top as well. Hope this gave you some great inspiration for working on your own projects.